What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Booth Podcast. My name is Ken, along with my co-host. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Tracy. She is...
My name is T-Baby, or also known as Tracy. I'm good friends with Ken and Dom for a long time now. Mm-hmm. And this has been so long overdue. I'm so excited.
100%, man.
Yes.
It's been a while since we've had a guest.
Oh, my God.
Really quickly, actually, we had this debate. How do you pronounce your last name?
Oh, my God.
Wait. You say it first.
Nguyen.
I thought it was Nguyen.
Okay, so there's a couple of ways you can say it. Like, there's like, I feel like the Canadian way is like Nguyen. Mm-hmm. And then the other way is just like the way that like people are supposed to say it is Nguyen. There's like a little bit of like a tongue action to it. So a little bit of an accent.
Try, bro. I feel like if I do it sounds racist. I have to like fully mimic.
It's a trap. Don't do it.
You know what? People when we were young, when like I was younger, and all my siblings, they would be like, "Oh, like you're the ones with like the Nagayan last name, right?" And I'd be like, "Nagayan." The G is silent. The G is very silent. Make sure you guys know that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, he's now I know.
That's how you say my last name. Wow. Yeah.
Anyways, so today's episode we're talking about relationships and Tracy's perspective on it. You know, so I guess we can start with some of the lighthearted questions. Or do you want to go with the harder ones?
Maybe we'll ease into it.
All right.
We'll ease into it.
All right, let me just grab my phone.
Guys, I've never been on a podcast before.
It's gonna be fun, and you know what? We technically kind of already had our little light version of the podcast earlier.
We
a little
did.
warm up.
All right, so our first question is, what's the most romantic thing someone's done for you in a relationship?
I feel like the most romantic thing that someone's done for me, this is like also like a telltale sign to like my love languages, is like I really, really love when someone kind of just like pays attention to the small little things that I love, whether it's like the food I really like the clothes I enjoy, or like just like little small things. I think the most romantic thing that someone's ever done for me was did like a cute little decorated hotel. I've always like yearned to like, I feel like you always see that on Pinterest where like the girlfriend does like all the like balloons for the guy, like, and then there's like floating photos and like the whole like baskets on the on like the bed, and like basically it was Valentine's Day, and I actually had no idea what we were doing this day. Like they really like they brought me to dinner, and they basically just like they brought me to a really nice dinner too. So I was kind of just like, oh, like this dinner's like good enough for me. Also, I'm someone who like didn't really grow up with super nice things. So I think because of that, my expectations to most people might be like, oh, like Trace, like that's kind of like bare minimum. Like I feel like that's like not really something that most like even flowers I found was like a luxury. I was like very like big on like, when I met this person, they ended up like showing me all the things that I love so much. And to tie back into my thing was basically that they took me out to dinner, and then they surprised me and they said like, oh, like we're just gonna go meet up with some friends. And like me like dumbfoundedly just walked into this building, and then like I actually bumped into one of my coworkers when I was going into the building, and I was like, so like, hey guys, like what are you guys doing here? Like, and they're like, oh, like we're celebrating Valentine's Day, like what are you doing here? I was like, oh, I actually don't know. And
I'm just here on Valentine's
my
Day.
like obliviousness was so like oblivious to the whole thing, and then I ended up like walking out of the elevators and realized we were in a hotel. And then he put a blindfold over me, and he just kind of was like, okay, like I'm gonna like bring you to the room now, like I just like want you to remember like we're seeing some friends, so like, you know, like don't be too like, he really tried to mislead me so much throughout the whole interaction on Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, like maybe we're seeing my friends, like we're doing like I was also thinking, you know what I was also thinking, I was like, what if I'm being serenaded by like an orchestra, or like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, those like bands, like, you know, when people do that. Yeah. So I was like, oh, like that would be a cute, fun little thing to like experience.
Bro, I'm taking notes right now.
Yeah.
Ken, I'm like, we got to step it
up. And so we end up going to this room. I like have my eyes closed, blindfold, everything. And then I hear the soundtrack of a song that he made for me.
Oh, wow.
And rose petals on the floor, candlelight lit up pathway. And it's got all of my favorite stuff like on the bed.
It's
with,
like a Pinterest dream.
Yeah. And like to make it even better, we had a perfect view of the CN Tower, like right outside the window. So it was like everything and more, my balloons and everything, the bouquet and like all the cute little things, like little like rose cake, like so many cute little things that he put on the bed, and the perfect view of the CN Tower. Also lit up red on that day for Valentine's Day. And I think personally, like that was probably one of the most romantic things somebody's ever done for me, because then like following that week, it was just like everybody that like I knew, obviously like it feels nice to like go out with your friends and like be with your family and stuff, but like when it's the person you're with and they like listen to all the little tiny details, because I also knew that like that day I was just really okay with having like a Galentine's with my girlfriends. Like I wasn't really trying to expect much, because like I just didn't want to have my hopes too high, because I haven't had the best Valentine's days in the past. So that was like such a big, like really big stepping stone for me, but also like made me really happy that someone understood me so much, to the level of like he said that he heard me one time mention just like a decorated hotel in general. And he took that and he really mentally noted it, and then one day he just executed that idea. And like
take notes, guys.
It was a very romantic gesture. I really, really love that. That was like the sweetest thing someone's ever done for me. Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Like,
That's crazy.
It was a dream, guys.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the stuff I've done, or I've gone like, I didn't do that.
Yeah, that was honestly
a lot out of our budget, brother.
I don't know, I've been single every Valentine's Day, bro. So I'm like, my situation's different.
But no, that was really nice. I feel like I always, when I think about all the Valentine's days that like my girlfriends have ever experienced now, I'll always be like, oh, like I hope that like every person has like their own thing, because I feel like some people might find it like corny, that kind of stuff, you know, like it's like very movie like or like whatever, but like I thought it was really sweet. I thought it was really sweet that like they thought of all the things that I really liked, things that I would wear and use as well. And like one of the gifts was like a brand new wallet, and like if anybody knows me, they know that like I will use things until I can no longer use them. I just like, that's just how I've grown up. All my shoes, all of my favorite like essential things that I need in my life, including a wallet or like a keychain or like things that you hold everyday things in, I will use them until they like break on me and like I can no longer use them. So like that in itself, and then the flowers and like my cute little like sweet treats, and like I think like he got me some like t-shirts that like I really, really like, clothing brands that I really adore, and like just things like that, like putting it all together, it was just really sweet and really kind. And I thought it was adorable, and it was really nice.
What about you, Dom? What's the most
don't
romantic thing?
come back to me now.
He's like, me
Come
now.
on, bro. You gotta.
Did you see what I have to top somehow? there's no top in it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, man.
But I want to hear it. Tell me the romantic things that you guys have planned for others, or things that people have planned for you guys. You know, as a woman, I'm always curious, because I feel like with that relationship too, they said that like for me, I was also jumbling my words. I basically was the first person who they ever received flowers from.
No.
And like for a guy, I feel like that's not really common.
So you don't think it's common for a guy to give a girl flowers?
No, for a guy to receive flowers from a girl. I feel like
I
guys
agree.
don't really think that that's like a thing. And like in that relationship, I'm constantly like telling them like, oh, like it's okay for you to also have like feminine like things. Cause I think that men now are so focused on trying to be so manly and so hard all
like
the time.
so red pill.
Yeah. And they're so like, they just like, they can't feel feelings, and like they can't like do all that. But like,
It's like textbook definition of what they think a man should be.
yeah. But I think that like the more that like I have a great group of friends, I get along better with guys. So a lot of my friends are males, and I feel like seeing as to how now I think maybe there's a little bit more attention towards that, it helps with the ideation of like even guys within guy friend groups are a little bit more like, if someone's going through it, they're more prone to talking about it with their guys now. As opposed to before, I used to know like guys would just kind of be just like not really about it, and they would keep it to themselves, and then like they would turn to drugs, or they would turn to alcohol, or they would turn to just like a bunch of other like inappropriate behaviors that like everybody would be like, what, why is so-and-so tweaking out like that? Why is it well, nobody knows what's going on, because they don't feel comfortable talking about it. But I think it's changed a lot now.
I would agree. I would say it, as of like in my friend groups and all my friendships, like a lot more dudes have been more open to like what they're going through.
Yeah.
And they're okay with it. Like at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you're going through shit. I'm going through shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to see you at the bottom and I'm on normal level and you're just there and I wouldn't know. 100%. I don't want to go about my friendship not knowing what they're going through.
100%.
You know, at that point, I just feel like I'm like conceited and selfish because it's like at this point I'm caring about myself and not caring about you.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
Yeah, that was us. That was like how we kind of became best friends. Was like, it was like at least me, when I would be in high school, we would be walking and I'm feeling these things, but I'm like, I can't talk to these guys. Like they're not about talking to about that stuff. And anytime you did, they're just like, dude, like, come on. Like, what do you like? You know what I mean?
Like I think like I've heard it even in like my brothers now, my younger brothers, they're like just teenagers. And like I've had my brother call me up like late night one time and was just like, Trace, like I don't know how to tell my friends that I'm grateful for them without sounding gay. Yeah. And I was like, that is so like, I'm so glad that you're so aware that that's something that's like so normalized. Like guys will just be like, yo bro, like you're being a little fruity right now. Like you like, but really it's just, you just want to talk about your feelings. Some people just want to talk about what's going on and like they just want to express gratitude. And I think like teaching my little brothers that is like such a big thing that I've been able to do, luckily, as their older sister. So like seeing that and like seeing as to how like my brothers are a little bit more aware of that, it gives me a little bit more hope for even like my friends and my people who are not teenagers and people who are actually going through real life problems where like we're just trying to go day by day, but like we all have issues and we're all trying to go through things and like talk to people when we can, you know.
Ken's actually done that for me. He's actually wrote me a letter and gave me flowers.
Yeah, I did that to like a good amount of my friends.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
That's
I bought
so
like
sweet.
I think in that week alone I spent like almost like 200 on flowers. And I gave it all to like all my closest friends. I'm like, yo, handwritten note for each individual person. Yeah. I took like a photo of them with it too. I just want to like commemorate it.
Yeah.
That is so sweet. And you know what? Like, I think like when you're like that with your friends, it also unlocks every friendship. I think I find like even now, the friendships I've had for more than 10 years, I'll realize that you'll unlock a new side of that person. And each year, as each year goes on, you're learning a new side of them because no one stays the same. Everybody becomes a new person as each year goes on. They get a new job, they move out of their new place, or like they like move out of their family's place, or they move out their family elsewhere. Like there's so many different changes and things that people go through.
Phases.
And so that's like a number one thing that like on the topic of relationships is like I find that we as this generation have a little bit of a hard time dealing with. I think that people forget that as each year goes on, we have to relearn your person. You have to constantly relearn your person and be willing to do that. Because if you're not willing to do that, then there's the what's that common excuse every single time someone breaks up? Oh, we're on different pages, or like it's not me, it's you, or it's like I'm like going through this thing right now where it just feels like I'm disconnected to you, but it's because maybe they're not okay with a partner taking up a new job, or like a partner needing to like be in and out of the city all the time, or like some people become long distance, or like there's so many different reasons.
I feel like one of the other reasons would be like they're so used to this version of their partner from before. So any new changes, whether small or drastic, it's like, I'm not used to this person. You're not the person that I fell in love with without them knowing it. So then they start kind of like, not disrespecting, but like kind of like falling out of love and getting angry at every single little thing.
Resentment.
Like that's the word. Sorry. Yeah. Resentment.
Resentment is a very, very hard thing to get rid of, I fear. I think that is one of the topics that like, whenever I talk to anybody about their feelings of resentment, when they do reach that state with a partner, it's really hard to come back from it, only because like that is your own personal feelings with your own beliefs, your morals, your desires, whatever it is, and then theirs, and clashing both of those together, and then not feeling like you're on the same page, and then having that resentment build is where like you'll be left like having some nights alone, and you'll really just be like, damn, how did we get here?
Right.
You know? And like that kind of thing is really hard to come back from, because then, you know, like people will say really hurtful things when they resent somebody.
Oh, bro,
or when they like have almost, I don't want to say it's hatred, but it almost feels like on the same level of like, almost like sometimes like you feel so angry at everything and there's so much rage within you that like sometimes it feels like it comes off as hatred to the other person, but really it's just because of a building of resentment.
I think it's like a deep love. Like if you have a deep love for someone, you're also going to have, not, I wouldn't say hate, but it
Yeah.
feels like hate.
Yeah.
It's a mix of both, and that's how you know you really love somebody, is when you can
Yeah.
feel these things.
Yeah.
But now it's, can I feel these things and move forward with those feelings?
Yeah.
Instead of like, I'm feeling it and that's it. There's no
Exactly.
change. There's no, we're gonna fix this.
Yeah. And that's why you say, like, you ever see those videos where, like, those interviewers will like, stop those, like, older couples on the street and be like,
what's the
what is the
secret?
secret?
Yeah,
What is the
yeah.
secret
Yeah.
to everlasting love? And what is the secret to, like, are you guys married? Are you guys a couple? Like, what is the secret? What is your
Yeah.
secret to lasting? And, like, it's always, like, the older couples will be like, you have to make sure that you still love them. You have to make sure that you still take them out on dates, still get them flowers, still write them letters, still, like prove them that chivalry is not dead.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
open the door for them, or like
Do the
still,
small
like,
little things that don't get noticed, you know?
And I think, like, even in the few people that I've met since, like, one of my most serious relationships, I realized that there is actually a lot of very romantic gestures that you can do for another person, but not realize that, like, it might just, like, make them feel very seen, and, like, you don't even realize it. Like, I don't know, like, I'm sure within you guys, even, like, I like to ask this to, like, best friends, even my best friend, like, my best friend Kelly, shout out Kelly, love you. She's, like, my platonic soulmate. I feel like she's very someone who, she's shown me so many ways of, like, she just taught me how not to accept disrespect, how not to, even my sister, her and my sister are, like, very good at, like, strict program. Like, it's this, and if it's not this, then we got to keep it pushing. And, like, I'm sure you guys carry each other in that way, where, like, when maybe you guys are going through new things in life, or you guys have a new person in your life, or maybe you're dealing with family things, like, you guys definitely balance off of each other. But the thing I like to ask best friends normally is, like, within your friendship, like, do you guys think that, like, you guys have, like, qualities of a soulmate that you guys would want in your future partners? Like, you know, like, for me, like, the way that I view it with Kelly is, like, she's taught me how to be very resilient. She's taught me how to be very, like, mindful of my own self-respect. And, like, I would only want that in my partner as well. I would want my partner to also have, like, good enough values that, like, I'm not only their life. Like, it's like their life is not just me, and, like, they have a life outside of me, and they have, like, things that they can also believe and, like, follow through with. And, like, I don't know, it's like, you know,
Wow, we're in couples therapy.
couples therapy.
I guess so. It's supposed to be about you, but I guess about us, bro.
I've changed the scenes, guys. This is now my podcast, and I'm here
Yeah.
with Dom and Ken, and they
Welcome
are
to
my
the
guests.
booth at AMPM.
I think for Ken, I've learned a lot about just saying yes to, like, opportunities, because I think if it wasn't for Ken, I'd probably still be in my shell. Like, the first real time that happened was when it was during the pandemic, and I was not in school. I was taking the gap year, and then he's like, I remember my girlfriend at the time said that she couldn't date anybody if they weren't in school and had, like, a future. And I was like, okay. Like, it was like a ultimatum in a way. So then I was like, okay, like, and then one random night I just applied to Toronto Film School. And then I just didn't think anything of it. And then me and Ken were hitting, like, a calisthenic workout one morning. I don't know why. But we were. We just
doing
were.
anything, bro.
Just
And
a random workout.
And then I get a phone call from the school, and I was, like, avoiding that phone call for like ever for those past couple of days. And then I showed it to him, like, oh, they're calling me. He's like, dude, answer and say yes. And say yes. And then we came back home. I told my dad about it. My dad was like, why would you do that? And then when he left the room, Ken was like, no, dude, don't listen to your dad.
Yeah.
Do the thing. And then we went through with it. And then now every opportunity that I ever get, I just kind of just say yes to. Like, I got an opportunity not too long ago about a stunt job for film.
Nice.
And I told Ken about it, and he was like, yeah, dude, do it. And then I did it. And yeah, so I'm still learning from
That's
Ken.
so sweet.
Yeah.
I love that. I think we all
forgot
need.
about that phone call.
Yeah, we
That's
all
okay.
need.
I remember it.
We all need someone who can kind of push us over the to the extents of, like, things that are outside of our comfort zone a little bit. I can name a few people who have definitely helped me do that. So shout out you guys.
I think for me, what I learned from Dom was more or less resilience. Because I mean, I've seen the guy go through like the dumps and everything, like all the lows. But I'm like, throughout it all, like he's always like prevailed, you know. And I like to kind of think of Dom as like a bit of my competition. You know,
Healthy competition is good.
no facts. It's just like
healthy competition.
if I see
is
him
good.
create, I'm more inclined to create.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like because he's also working towards his passion and everything he wants to do. It's like I should be doing the same thing. Like I don't want to be like held back, but I also want to be on the same level as him, if not also like higher at the same time he is. You know, it's like a good competition where it's like I want to see you grow. I don't want to see you still.
Exactly.
You know.
Tracy, it was so funny because I was like, I cooked a steak one time, and I was like, I
love steak.
I don't cook, but I was like, I cooked a steak, and I sent it to the group chat, and then a couple of days later, he sends his steak and just goes, just the top dom. No, like, just.
Oh my god!
When was this Top Chef? Like,
Sorry.
I'm just like,
all of a sudden we're on Top Chef and we're the steak off. Oh my god, that is so
had
funny.
to, bro. It's just like. Man, fuck this guy.
I got no reason.
I love steak so much. It sounds like you guys had like a little steak connoisseur.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I bought like 2 more steaks like that following week and just kept making
Tracy,
sandwiches.
It's still going.
Bro.
He's
I
still
transition,
sending
bro. I got 6, so I had to make like tom yum soup. And
He's
shit
making
like that.
more.
Oh my god.
Now I'm too insecure to send any steak photos into the chat, man.
Because I told him,
He's just too
I told
good.
him what he's missing. Like, you need vegetables, man.
Right.
You need asparagus.
You
in
win.
there.
This sounds a lot like the friends of mine who like they'll like pick up on new hobbies. It's like all of a sudden like I know people who are like paddle boarders and surfers and like they'll like take up like pottery classes and like you know what, I love it though because I love seeing like my friends try new things, and I think there's so many things that people like forget that we could just do with our free will. And like cooking is one of those things.
Dude.
Not everyone can cook, so like, you know, this is a great thing to possess.
Yes.
Oh, that's facts.
Ladies,
Plus, I
these
gotta
boys
like.
can cook.
I'm not that good yet. You know.
No, not yet. Ken can cook. Ken can cook.
My food is edible. That's it. That's all that matters.
It passes that test.
Edible. I'm not saying it's good. It's just edible.
Love
you know?
that.
Yeah.
As long as it's edible.
Dude, that's the only. But
You know
that
what?
sucks.
Living on my own has taught me that like cooking is definitely something that like you can either do or you just really have to try and try and try again before you can finally perfect it. Because I think like in my first year of living alone, I was like I can't do this. I'm just gonna buy like, you know, those ready-made meals.
Oh, yeah,
But then
yeah.
that after a while it just becomes a little like
Becomes bland.
Yeah, a little bland, a little oversaturated. It gets expensive, and like learning how to cook is much easier. So. I love
agree.
it though.
Just to pivot back to
We're
relationships.
we're off tracking.
Actually, no. I'm gonna circle back to this. 'Cause you talked about resentment earlier.
Yes.
Low key, that like strung something in me because I remember hearing that word. As my ex was like about to break up with me, she said that word to me.
Oh.
So I'm just like, damn, bro, that word just brings back memories.
Yeah.
Long story short, she was like, she had a crush on like one of her coworkers from a long time ago when he came to visit.
Okay.
And then, so we just got in a relationship. And she's like, oh, I found out that he liked me. And from like way back when I used to work with him. And so she's like, I used to have a fat crush on him too. I'm like, okay.
This is someone you just got into a relationship with?
Yes.
Oh boy.
We're letting the public know.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
dear.
surprised you're doing this. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm like, yo,
Oh
it's been like
gee.
2 years, 3
Okay.
years.
Oh
I'm like,
gee.
fuck.
Okay.
If she sees this, she sees this. But basically, yeah. So, she's like, I feel like if you don't like let me see him, like I might resent you. I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, yo,
Whoa.
hold up.
Whoa.
I'm just like, you know what, man? With all due respect, you do whatever you want to do.
yeah.
I'm not gonna force you. I'm not gonna control you. You know my feelings and my thoughts about this. Go ahead. 24 hours later, we break up. First things out of her word when we finally made the call, she's like, I'm sorry, I choose him. I'm like,
There's like some this is what I like to like try and figure out about people. Like when people do things that are sounds pretty crappy and like pretty shitty, I want to understand to some degree why they do it, even though the empath in me knows that like really I can't actually understand why you would do it because I personally would never do it to you. But I do like to understand, and I would like to understand how people can reach a point where like they can get to that.
yeah.
Like, you know, like how did you view her when that was happening? And like, do you think that that's actually something maybe she just like wanted to get off her chest for like a long time, and maybe that was just like maybe she just like really valued, like respected you to some degree and like wanted to like, you know what I mean? Like there's some people who just
Yeah.
think that way.
I remember, because the way my ex was, she was like very much into answering all these what if questions because it's like pondering her head a lot.
Okay, so she's an overthinker.
Yeah. So she wanted to ask him like, oh, what if like we made it work back then? We told each other we liked each other, right? I remember when she told me that, I'm like, yo, no disrespect, but this is how I view it. It's like you're trying to relive a fantasy that's not there. With all due respect, I asked you out. I confessed my feelings. You know, we got to where we are now.
Yeah.
But if you want to do that, I'm not gonna stop you. You know, because at the end of the day, you're your own person. And then through the whole thing, after she did it, I was like, you know what? Thank you for the time that we had together. I got no animosity or anything whatsoever. Like, I'm a little cheesed, but that's it. I'm ending it here. I don't want to contact you. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I wanted to get mad at her and lash out at her, like, right then and there on the call. I'm like, I can't bring myself to it. I've been awake for almost 24 hours. I'm on leave right now.
You're better than me.
Bro, it was like
better than
terrible.
Me. I am a D1 crash out. I am a D1
No, dude, I
crash out.
wanted to crash out so bad.
You are better than me.
A part of me was just like, nah, I can't do that, man. As much as I know I could, I'm like, just say my thank you and my goodbyes. Thank you for the time. Our 3 months was cool, but I'm done now. You know?
The subscription ended, bro.
Yeah. You know what my favorite thing to tell my friends when I hear about stories that are like a little bit more short-lived and maybe like they really saw a potential in that person, I'll always tell them too, like the same way you're saying, like you want to be the good guy who like sends off really well. I would rather that my friends really stick to the idea that it's like it is better to come off and like send off as the good person, because like then when they do try to talk about you to other people, they can't really say anything bad about you because like they'll know that like what you told them was true, but then also like if they try to spin it around to other people, they'll be like, oh, but what did they say? And then when they hear what you said, there's no really spinning it around to make you be the bad guy. Because like you did actually stick true with like, you know what, we'll just say our goodbyes here. We can be cordial and like that's fine, but like you can go do that over there.
No, facts, dude.
Far away.
And I remember
from me.
like I think 2 years later I was on Hinge. I saw her
OMG.
on Hinge.
I remember this.
I saw her on Hinge. My ex told me to my face before, like, I will never download Hinge. You'll never see me there. And then I see him like, yo, funny seeing you here.
Oh boy.
And then she responded and I ghosted her. And then I saw her at a bar. I caught my hands. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I didn't know you saw her at the bar. Or maybe I did.
Yeah. And then like I messaged her after the bar, but like, yo, just so you know, I don't hate you. I forgive you. And all that, just to like get her off the hook, because I know she like
really
overthinks
are
a
better
lot.
Than me.
Dude, but it was so funny because she's trying to like
I
run
would be
away.
like, I hope you see me, and I hope you feel fucking.
That's
shitty.
what I'm trying
not
to
gonna
say.
lie.
Dude, I want to. You don't get. I want to. But like at the same time, like, dude, man, you fucked up. You get it. I understand. Like, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
You know? But that brings me to my next question. Why do you guys think people cheat?
Let me tell you. Why I think people go to the extent of craving another person's attention and like hiding things from them, and then eventually leading to whether it's micro cheating, emotional cheating, physical cheating, whatever it is, all of those categories of cheating. Cheating is cheating. And I think that most of the time it's usually insecurity. Usually it's seeing that that person maybe is going about their own life and they're like doing their own things, and they can see that because that person is focusing on their potential and their own stuff so much that they will then be insecure and start to question that person on things and say like, oh, like I don't want you talking to this person, I don't know why you're following this person, I don't know why you're doing this, all because they are things that that person is capable of doing themselves. Like I think that like that's like a really big thing. That's the insecurity bit. And I also think that it has to do with sometimes some people just can't like come face to face with their own
demons.
Yeah. I think that some people can't face that like maybe I am no longer interested in this person and I want more, or that I want to say that I want more.
The truths.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the harder parts that come with the relationship, where like you have to sometimes tell them like, I don't think you're doing enough for me, or I don't think that you are doing what I want in a future partner. And like, you know, like that's where discussions like this are supposed to be they're supposed to be common, but they aren't, where like you can talk to your partner and say like, look, like I get that maybe X, Y, and Z has changed for you, but I would like more from you and this is how we can do it. But then sometimes people will hear that and they'll just immediately get defensive. They'll immediately get really offended that their partner thinks of them in that way.
Yeah.
And that like, it's like ridiculous that like they'll be like, oh, like, well, like you do this and this and that, and like they'll like start to compare and like use parts of your life that like maybe like you have a really good job going, and they'll be like, well, you work in this industry, and you know that's like very common in this industry, and like I work in like a very calm job, so it's not like something that like I could find myself in. But then like the other partner could very easily spin it around and say like, yeah, but like you go out a lot. Or like you go partying a lot, or you go doing like outings a lot, where like you can be environments where maybe cheating, it can be a thing. And like I think that when someone does go to the extent of cheating, it really just genuinely is like a hard time facing your demons, like you said. I think that I don't see any other reasoning for it, only because I like to believe that there is not actual pure evil out there where people are just cheating for fun. But then again, there are some stories that I've heard where people are actually just meant to be in open relationships and are not okay with being open about it.
Yeah.
And then it comes out and then everything falls because then they're with this person and they've been with them for a long time, but then something between then and now changed where maybe they no longer want the same thing that that person wants. And like, and then, you know, a mountain hill of things can come up.
That's true. That's true.
What do you guys think?
So Dom, what do you think? Why do you think people cheat?
I think it's along the lines of what you were saying. I like to think it's like they would rather point fingers at why they do what they do rather than look in the mirror. Or like you said, point fingers at you're doing this in the relationship, you're doing this in the relationship, then what am I lacking in and what am I not doing? Because I mean, I feel like no one wants to like look at themselves like, oh yeah, I became a cheater.
Yeah.
There's a different stain to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether that's even like something as I wouldn't say as light, or I wouldn't put this less than, but emotional cheating, like even when someone emotionally cheats, it's kind of icky.
I hate emotional cheating. I actually...
You and me fucking both. That was what happened over here on this side of things.
Emotional cheating, I think, is really like such a, like a... It's like a cat's claws just like clawing in your skin and like elongating the feeling as much as possible, because like there's the doing the physical thing and then like it's like one and done and whatever, you know? But then there's like someone who actively maybe like has a wandering eye, or like someone who like, you know what I mean? Like someone who like is like just like when they're out and their partner's not around, or like, you know, like they're just... you know the feeling, because like you'll know when you're doing something wrong and you're hiding it from that person.
The guilt.
And like I don't know how people sleep at night when they do that.
And it's like you're letting it grow. It's not even like like you said, the physical thing, like I mean it depends how long that thing's going on for.
Yeah.
But like the emotional aspect is like they're kind of letting it linger. You're allowing the flirtatious energy to bounce between you and said person. You're replying,
leaving doors open.
Constantly replying to those texts a little too fast. You're smiling when the notification pops up. It's like, I wonder why. And then and just knowing that if you're on the other end, just knowing that the person that you're with has this sensation or this electricity in them, but it's not because of you, that's when it kind of kills you. Like if you get physical with someone, like I feel like the physicality of, you know, one person and another, like physical attraction's like whatever. Like that happens so often nowadays with social media, but it's like allowing yourself to like let things linger and build, and like it's a connection between you and this other person. That's different.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, something, I want to say similar, but this is where like I saw that connection my ex had with the other guy.
Oh, dude, that was definitely emotional cheating.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But basically, like, this one thing just ticked me off. So when I got her number when I first started seeing each other, right? She never saved my number, right? She had, like, no intention of, like, actually, like, being friends or going on a date with me. But, like, we'd talk a lot often, right? And so finally got together. And then the whole thing with her friend that she had a crush on came back, right? She saved his number. But then she didn't save mine. I'm like... That's kind of weird.
Oh, so you were just a number.
But she didn't save her mom's number either.
Oh, that's weird.
So like, it's been years. I'm like, she's something so she does. Weird. But I'm like, yo, at the same time, I know it's odd. I'm like, yo, you can't save my number. Like, come on, like respectfully, like you can do whatever you want, but like, damn, really? And I'm just like, all right, whatever. I'm glad we broke up.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
You know
God.
what? I think that some people, when they have such a misaligned, kind of just like, no nicer way to put it, but some people just need to get their life together. And
No, I
some
agree.
people who do not have their life together, they will inappropriately make the wrong connections. They will like, they'll just treat people very poorly. They don't realize who they're stepping on and how they're affecting them.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think when that starts to happen, you realize that some people are going through things that are, like I said, deeper than what we can understand. And as someone who is a very, very strong empath, I find that I cannot possibly understand why you did what you did, because I wouldn't do that to you.
Right.
And if like there was ever a time where maybe like, I hate when people will like compare what other people, like the bad things that other people did to each other before they finally split, because like ultimately like it meant that there was some kind of a disconnect between both of you, that like you guys felt the need to like even treat each other this way or talk to each other this way.
Yeah.
Or like, I hate when like I see those couples who like go public about this stuff and will post it online and be like, this person is a lying, scamming ass cheater, and they did this, and that to me.
And sometimes they'll have like the receipts and they post
The receipts and like, it's just like
So messy.
what we were saying earlier too, is like, I think sometimes we never really know what people are going through. And like, we are not ones in those relationships, so really we can't really know what happens behind the scenes. But bro, when those things get put online, it is very hard to get rid of.
Oh, dude, I agree. I think especially during high school, like people would expose like their
people were
cheating
getting
partner.
canceled. Cancel culture was so
I remember.
often. It was so frequent. It was ridiculous.
insane.
So where do you stand on relationships being on social media? Because for me, I'm like, now, no. Like if I'm in a relationship, like, not that no one's gonna know about it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be private, not a secret.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel the same way. I think like the way that I view it is like, the people who need to know will know. But I also think that there is a very beautiful thing about what people don't know they can't ruin.
Yeah.
And I think that evil eye is a very real thing. And even if you're not someone, like, I actually really deep down in my root core of me, I want to be someone who can post my partner and like love them out loud and scream it off the top of rooftops. But I also know that the reality of things is that like people will spin things around, and people are always, there's always a secret hater out there somewhere. And there's always somebody who's envious. Yeah. There's always somebody who is preying on your downfall. And I think that the more people can wrap their head around that, it's more so that you are just protecting your peace, that person's peace. And also like, you never really know. Some people are kind of crazy.
No, I agree.
And some people might like, you know, like I remember when I was in a really serious relationship and like things had ended, like people still felt comfortable coming up to me and being like, well, like, you know, so-and-so, like, you know, like you knew them like through this and this and that. And I would be like, yeah. Like, I'm just no longer a part of that though.
Yeah.
Like, I think like some people who maybe make those connections are just innocently also like people who are just watching us online, or people who are like, they don't know us at all. They don't like, these are people who are coming up to you because maybe they heard through the grapevine, or like, you know, something that somebody told me that was really, really great. Shout out to Silas. He's going to love hearing this. But he said during a pre-shift one time before our shift started, he was like, you are never, ever going to choose what people remember you for. And in these circumstances, like, that's how first impressions are.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You will never choose what people will remember you for. And I think like with that, that's why you should always still be kind, be good, no matter who's watching, no matter what's going on. And like doing and saying, I have to just like be like, okay, like I'm not going to try and understand and break you down, because like I really don't actually think that I would do what you did, but that like it's okay. And I think that maybe you're just going through your own things and I just don't know you. And I think that's it. Like I said, evil eye is a really real thing. And then that ties with anything. Anytime someone gets a new job, you'll see who's actually cheering you on.
Yeah.
You'll see when someone's actually checking in on you when you haven't maybe reached out in a while. You know, things like that.
Yeah, they're like always trying to give you different energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether that's within their thoughts or with what they're saying behind your back to other people.
Exactly.
Like I remember saying this on the podcast, like I think the previous one before, it's like people talk to you to talk about you. And like I've heard that. I remember hearing that term, and it's just like it hit me. I'm like, some people have done that to me, and I'm not gonna lie. I've done the same thing before, like way back in high school. Cause it's like gossip and drama, like a whole big thing in relationships. Right, and it was like, I kind of don't like that. At that point, I'm just fake, or the person asking is fake. You can never know.
People could take your words and then entirely twist it. Yeah. They are literally sometimes talking to you just to get info out of you, and when they do, it's like you don't know if it's with true intentions, and that's why you really never know who's listening. You really never know who's actually like there to talk to you, to actually get to know you, or like to actually like, like I meet so many people in the work that I do where like, for those who don't know, I'm a manager at a very popular nightclub. And we meet people all the time who are coming from all different sorts of places, all over the world, all over the city, all over like within Toronto. And like people are just like, especially drunk people or people who are under any kind of influence. It's like you really get to know where people's what's that like subconscious thinking, where like what do they say, like after 1 a.m. nothing good happens, because it's like people are, and their true thoughts are like, it's like drunk people are just like all over the place. They're like they're thinking about everything, and sometimes it's crying, and sometimes it's laughing, and sometimes it's
like their most vulnerable side that they don't show without alcohol.
And like then there gives me more fuel and drive to be able to do it myself.
To do it,
because you work in the nightclub scene in Toronto, do you find it common that people break up because of the club, or you see a lot of people cheating during the club?
I will say it's very common. Unfortunately, the whole like ideation of like people who work in nightclubs are very toxic, and people who like go to nightclubs are very like, they're just very messy. I fear that for some people it's true, but I have met a couple of great people and a couple of great couples who really have like tried to show people that that's not all there is. There is more to just being a part of the nightclub industry and like the nightlife industry in general. We meet so many people, and I think it is very common, but I have met a couple of people who have really shown me that like there's just so much more. Like there's so much more to having a potential future with somebody, where that's so much more important than throwing it away for some random person that you don't know at the club, or like dancing on somebody that you probably won't ever see again, or like, like there's just so many. What was that? What is going on?
Sorry, I wingman for Dominic. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then I was like, take her best friend.
Oh my God.
And
mind you, you tell a story.
I want to hear this now.
So then Ken did what I asked him to do. He took away the best friend. And then later on, he comes back to me. He's like, dude, she had a boyfriend.
Oh.
So from my perspective, he tells me like, all right, bro, it's my first time wingmanning for my boy. Let me try this shit.
Oh my gosh.
So we're in the back of like AMPM in the booth. Like the two best friends are dancing, right? I go up to him like, hey, you want to dance? And then, we're like a couple seconds in, like maybe a minute of dancing. I'm like, I think randomly I was like, wait, do you have a boyfriend? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, don't dance with me.
What are you doing?
You know those memes?
I'm sorry. I'm just like, I want to be respectful to like you and like your relationship. Like, 100%. I don't want you. It's not that I can do something, but it's like I don't want you to like tell your man I dance what I do. I feel like you should respect your man enough and the relationship itself to not do that.
I was like, why'd you ask?
but you still dance with that girl, bro. It's a dub in my eyes.
In like,
I guess so, yeah.
I literally remember seeing like there's like a new like I guess like TikTok trend now in like the nightlife scene where like it'll be like a caption like a girl going up to the guy who like funded like the bottles for the night, and then they'll like whisper in their ear and be like, oh, like thank you so much for the drinks, but like my boyfriend's outside to pick me up now. That is like unfortunately very common.
Yeah.
I find that like a lot of these girls are like, they're just trying to have a nice night out with their girlfriends, but like they'll take one for the team where like they'll like flirt with the guys so they could get drinks for their girlfriends, and like they won't really care. They won't really care about what and how it seems to the other guys. But I will say I know some women who do that who are also just very like, yeah, like I'm trying to have a good time no matter what that entails. And I love the idea only because me personally, I would never ever really do something like that. And I think that like it's just like, I don't know, I can get my girlfriend's drinks in other ways. I feel like this is like that are a little bit more respectful to maybe their partners or even my partners, and like like I think there's other ways to go about that. But it is common, guys. It is very common, and like I think I see it a lot. I see it too much more than I like. But at the same time, I also think that like it's usually the younger crowd who thinks this way. I find that the older crowd now, thankfully, that does come by is very respectful normally and usually asks from the jump, like, are you involved with anybody? Am I going to get in trouble?
Wow. I actually did not know that.
Because you know what? Women now are FBI leaders.
Yeah.
We are on some CIA shit.
Yep.
I promise you, we will know. We will know.
Nope, I agree, bro.
Will know, yeah.
We will know, and
Toronto's too small.
it is too small. And like, I think that like, it's just like another thing too of like, you should just, like you said, respect your partner enough to like say like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I've had plenty of people, because I work in like the frontline work of the nightclub. I find that sometimes even me, I can be a little bit oblivious to when someone is maybe flirting with me. And like, I have had plenty of times where I've had to like tell people down, not because like maybe I had a partner at the time, just because I just wasn't interested.
Yeah.
You think they find your energy friendly?
Yeah.
Like friendly,
you know what?
And they think it's flirty?
I think that is 100% what it is. And I think that is a flaw of mine that I've had to work on, because I would hate for someone to mistakenly think my friendliness is like me flirting with you. And like, that's just how I am. Because
but like you have like siblings, like you said you have a brother, right?
I do.
So that's probably why you come off like that.
I have a lot of siblings.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I have a lot of siblings.
I did not know that.
Rewind.
I'm one of 6 siblings.
Oh,
I thought you were like max like 3 siblings.
No,
Yeah.
I'm one of 6
Oh my gosh.
siblings.
Wow.
Fun fact about me.
Are you the eldest?
Not a lot of people know that about me. Yeah,
Eldest?
I am the eldest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Heavy load to carry.
Yeah. My best friend says it best. She literally says you're very maternal towards people. And I think
I get that
sometimes,
energy.
Sometimes
I do
people,
get that
you'll always want
energy.
to take care of people.
Yeah.
And sometimes people might take that as a little bit too friendly. And like, that's why like sometimes like, at least now, after being in the industry for more than 3 years, and that's not even a long time. I'm still learning so many things every single day. But now I'll kind of have like a good thing of being like, oh, like, by the way, like I use this, like my Instagram for work. So like, if you are taking my Instagram, you should know like I only really do work on there. It's not for like the intention of like getting to know anybody. And like, usually I lead with that. Cause then that way, like, they'll be like, oh, like, of course, like usually it's out of towners or like people who are trying to come by again, or like people who want to book bottle service in the future.
Right.
And so having that, like, making sure it's known beforehand. I think I've had plenty of times where people have, I used to not have Instagram for a little while. And when I was off of Instagram, the only way that you could connect with me was through my work number, which is why I have my 2 cellular devices. And I think with having two of those phones, like having the work phone is like a good balance for me, so that when people would reach out through there, it would be, I would know it's for work. I would answer the phone by being like, hey, AM, PM. Like, you know, like that. But then also sometimes some people don't get the memo, and they'll call me at like 3 a.m. and be like drunkenly calling me. Clients drunkenly calling me and being like, hey, like, come EP with us, like do whatever. But like, usually I've just like known when not to answer the phone, and those are those hours. Like I can't answer the phone after a certain hour just because.
We know that part of the club. What do you have to say for the people that have like a negative view on the club?
I think it's so valid. I understand them, and I really, 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 like, I will never, ever, like, every time someone has ever even made assumptions about me and, like, has, like, said things and I've heard it through the grapevine, I'll always be like, you know what, like, I don't even blame them. But, like, they also don't really know me.
Yeah.
And, like, I think the only thing that I can make peace with is, like, they don't know me. They don't know how great of a family that, like, everyone at AMPM is like. And I think that it is still a nightclub, but I do think that we are trying to emphasize and enforce that like we have a very family friendly oriented kind of thing going, and like the people who come to us have been coming to us for years. And like all the parties, so many hey girly texts from women who maybe like were dating someone and the boy like visited, and then like they
Not
like
even your fault,
they
though.
followed me or something because
that
they
your
see that in my
fault?
bio is like AMPM, and then they'll be like, hey, I noticed that like he followed you recently but then unfollowed you the next morning. And I'll literally be like, girl, I'll tell you exactly how I know him, where I saw him, who I saw him with. I don't if whatever you need, I will tell you. But really, like, I promise, like 9 times out of 10 it's usually just like a group of like 4 guys who came from out of town and maybe just wanted to have like a nice like fun night, and then happened to like click off with like some of the employees. I can't lie, like in the last like I want to say like 2 years, AM has really grown where like we are really just like everybody from everywhere. Like we've like had people from Japan, we've had people from like Thailand, we've had people from like New York and LA and all these other places, Vancouver, like so many different places that like we wouldn't think anybody would like know like us, because like we still want to think that we're really small and like we're very like, if you know, you know. But I think we're growing, and I think that like there's so many people who are working. Shout out our influencer team.
No, I think we in New York I bumped into Extra Emily. Is that her name?
Oh my god, yeah, the streamer.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Oh, she's like, I'm coming to Toronto like next week. Like, is there any nightlife there?" I'm like, "Yes, go to AM/PM." That's what I told her. Yeah, and it's like it's the spot. I will say it is.
We've met I've like random, like I love like the random, like we've met so many like fun people there. Like recently Florida was there.
Oh really?
Yeah, on like a really random day, guys. It was like on our Chinese New Year night. Shout out Chris Rain. He was the one who was able to help us get in connect with that, and like he was so fun. He was such a life of the party.
Dude, I would not expect that.
Yeah, there's just like always so many fun, like we've had a bunch of like great like across like China artists. He's so chill. And yeah, we've met so many different people. Like I've like met a few of the Raptors. I met Scotty Barnes.
Shout out Scotty, bro.
Shout out Scotty Barnes.
I love Scotty.
I met Scotty Barnes. He was such a light. He was there. He came after one of his like games. I think they had won, and they just wanted to celebrate. Yeah. And it was just so random that they came by.
Jokes,
but yeah, no, I love meeting the people. Even just like so many like different industries have come by, like the food industry. Like I've met so many of our good friends there. So many like friends who also have entertainment companies have stopped by, and like some people. If you guys know the Playground series, guys.
Oh, Sam and
those guys, they were coming to AM/PM for like a long time before too. And
dude,
like,
I remember because when I met them when they had Joybox.
Yeah.
And sometimes they like, yo, come through to the crib, come through to AM/PM.
Yeah.
I'm like,
shout out
bro.
Playground series.
Yeah.
T-Baby loves you guys. I love them so much. They're such a great group, and like like seeing
they're doing like massive things now.
Spy and like. It's always a blessing to see everybody
working
and, like,
with all of those people and all these things. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned as a club promoter?
I feel like when I started to like meet these people, I definitely think like the number one lesson is like you have to remember these people are also just as human as the rest of us. I think like every time I ever tap in with them, like, how are you? Like, how are you really? Like, how are you doing? Like, have you been eating? How's your family? How's everything going with you? I like to hear those things because I feel like people forget that us within this industry, like the DJs and the support barbacks and the bartenders and the management and like everyone, the security, they kind of forget that sometimes we are not robots. And we are also running the ship as much as anybody else is in their own realms. And like, I think when I meet those people, I'm always like so interested to hear like, oh, like, so like, what is your origin story? And like, how did you get into this the way that you did? And like, I think just remembering that they're human is like a really big thing for me, because I think I know other people who will kind of just treat them like they're just like any other person who is just like in this industry. Everything that I know, like I was never working in the nightlife industry before this. Before I got into this, I was just a girl, just a girl who was coming into the club scene late and like just like loved and enjoyed music all her life and just wanted to be able to like come together with friends and like see what it was like. I never had like a fake ID phase. I never like I started clubbing when I was 21. I really came into it pretty late. I feel like people like,
is that really late though? 21?
I feel like that's pretty late.
Considering 19 is the
even some people are like with the fake IDs, like they're partying at like 17, 18.
Yeah, I know some places.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's just like, I feel like 21 was pretty late, but like even then it was the perfect time because I met amazing people, so many great friends of mine.
I feel like also by 21, like going in club scenes, like you kind of already know the people you want to be around, like their tolerance if you drink alcohol in high school.
100%. And like, like I think my lesson from everything is just like, I love remembering that everybody just has their own story. Because even some of the people that still work with me today and were the people who introduced me to the nightlife scene, like seeing as to how different we were 3 years then and 3 years forward, like there's so much that has changed. Some of us actually have pretty like important roles in where we are now, and like we've maybe like taken up opportunities for ourselves in different places, and like it's very interesting to see how different everything can pan out for everybody, and like I love it. I think it's a great lesson of mine that I've been able to take on my shoulders.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
What's the craziest story that you've ever?
Craziest?
Yeah, what's the craziest story you've ever had working in this industry?
Oh my God, I don't know if I have like a crazy story. I'm like, a lot of the stories that I have are usually just like, I've met really like fun individuals who have just been like so like, you can definitely tell when people are out of towners, I think. And
No,
I
that's
think,
true.
I think the fun thing that comes out of like, just like being in this industry is like not realizing how many people like know each other. And like even those like artists that have stopped by, or like fun people who like have some kind of influence, like even like the friends who are like influencers who have come by and everything. Like I don't necessarily have a crazy story, but I think it's just more so it is crazy to see that like everyone happens to know everybody in some way, and everybody is integrated in some kind of form.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure I do have a crazy story, but I just can't think
It's
of
like,
it
I feel
right
like
now.
3 years, it's like too many.
Yeah,
to count for it.
I've had some pretty like, I feel like the only crazy thing like I can really think of is like I've had like a really crazy like hater who like
Oh, interesting.
just like they hated everybody though. It was one of those things where like it was almost like a stalkerish kind of vibe, and like people just like
It's obsessive hate.
yeah, and like I think it was also around the time when AMPM was at its peak, and everybody was kind of on radar. Like everybody, if there was ever a fight that broke out, cameras were out, or like anytime that like something maybe happened with like drama within like a friend group, somebody was first to hear about it, and somebody was first to yipper yapper about it online. And like we've heard plenty of like different like things that have gone on, but like thankfully we really try to stray away from that drama. I think like we don't really like it, and we're all about peace on this side, so we try not to indulge in that stuff. And like
That's fair.
I think you can definitely tell, because I think there's also like a bunch of people who have visited us have always been like, oh, like you guys just care so much. Like you guys don't just like throw people out on the street. Like I feel like other clubs will maybe just like, it's not they don't care. I think it's just more so they have an operation to run, and there isn't that much time for empathy sometimes.
That's fair.
And I think that's kind of maybe why there's such a negative outlook on the nightlife industry too.
Right.
Because I think we're kind of known to be a little aggressive or like a little like mean, but really like we're actually really nice people. Like all the people that I work, all my coworkers, all of my like mentors, everyone that I've ever learned from have all been the most down to earth people ever. And like I have nothing bad to say about any of them, because they have taught me, if not many more, of the life habits and things that I take with me every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm still pretty young, so like
No, that's
I
good to
feel
hear,
like,
because
you know?
at least because me going in like earlier, like early 20s, like, oh, fuck the club.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't want to like be around like so many people, all that.
But that's also the thing. The reason why I probably was so late into going into the club was because I never saw the reason for why I needed to go clubbing. Because people saw it as like clubbing was like where you get fucked up. And people are like, that's where you like
Get
go
drunk,
like get
lash
drunk
out,
and
just
you
do whatever
lash
the
out
fuck.
and like you crash out. But,
Just
like,
hearing it's like not a scene you want to already be in.
yeah, and I've just learned that like there's actually more to that.
Oh, no,
There's
I agree.
so
Yeah.
much more to the nightlife industry that is so beyond the drinking, getting sloshed, and like getting fucked up to the point where you don't remember your night. There's so much more to it.
Yeah.
And like I think my sobriety helped with that, but I know people who also like just genuinely want to go for a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
They just want to go dance their hearts out or sing their hearts out. You know, karaoke sesh with their friends like afterwards, like, you know?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I think there are some guys out there that just they go in with a different expectation,
Yeah.
the wrong expectation.
I think so. I think so. I think you're right. There
And
is
then they all
the
come out
few.
disappointed. I wonder why. I wonder why.
And that's why, like I say, like we have our things, and like that's probably why our crowd is so loyal, and there's so many of us who love AMPM so deeply and dearly, because we have a great, just like
AMP is just like the home team.
it's just it's on my skin for a reason. I have like
Weird.
8 AMPM tattoos. There's like, this is my first one that I ever got.
Oh,
it's
I
like a
see,
paper
yeah.
crane, and then this is like a Karomi one that happened. Each one was on like a very special day.
Yeah.
And like this was my most recent one. This one here.
Yeah.
It says AMPM, but like it's on like
Oh, it's like
it's like a calligraphy piece. Kind
Oh, okay. I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have so many. I have like one here. I have one behind my neck. I have so many. This place is integrated in my skin. That's maybe why like my loyalty.
Like barbershops, because even my barber, he has like his barbershop logo tattoo on him. Because same with the other guys there. I'm like, yo, loyalty runs deep in in certain industries.
Shout out
which is
PC
like amazing.
Lads. Those guys at the lab barbershop have done all of my tattoos.
With relationships to career and nightlife and everything, what do you think is
I think the number one lesson I've learned is never, ever, ever let what, like, how do you say this? Like, I think people can just lead you to believe the wrong things. I think outside noise is so loud sometimes. And I think when you work in an industry like this, especially if you're someone who maybe isn't sober and actually drinks and actually like parties with people and like goes out and like here's what other people are up to and here's like that so-and-so maybe like some people have good habits and good intentions and some people don't. I think it's very easy to be influenced by everyone around you. And the number one thing that like I've learned is like you need to be the one to stop the pattern. Like you need to be the one to stop like don't let that kind of thing infiltrate your mind.
Yeah.
I think it's really scary when like I don't know, like I've just had some people who maybe like don't even know me and they'll come up to me and ask me like things about like other people that I know, really personal things about other people that I know or work with. And I'll really just be like, sometimes I even have to like call them out and be like, do you even know that person to be asking about their personal business? Because really, I don't think it's any of your business to be even yipper-yappering about that stuff out on the street when nobody actually like, I've never even heard about it before. But then but like even hearing you say it, it's like hearing you talk about someone's such a personal thing to somebody. Like, I don't think that should be something people do. But unfortunately, it is something that happens. And I think like, that's why whenever I hear every day it's a new thing. There's always a new friend group. There's always a new promoting group. There's always a new club. There's always a new DJ. There's always something juicy and lore-y and drama filled that's always happening. And my number one thing that I have always like taken now on the back of my shoulders is always like, if someone comes up to you about someone else's business, you just need to simply be like, this is not my business. Like, I don't even know why you're talking to me about it because it actually has nothing to do with me. Yeah. And me telling you my opinion actually serves no purpose to you or to them. Because, like, I think everybody wants to be able to talk about other people at the dinner table. But, like, those are the same people who usually have their own problems and their own, like, issues that, like, they need to do that in order to be relevant. Or maybe they need to do that in order to...
They just want to also sound... They want to know if they're doing better than you.
Yeah,
at the same time.
They want to like be tapped in and then like they want to brag about it to other people. And I think that unfortunately that's probably one of the most common things that I've seen while working in the nightlife industry. And it sucks because like I know some really down to earth people who have been talked about. And like when I hear that those things are happening, I'm always so like, I want to be the person sometimes who also wants to involve themselves and say like, you don't know who this person is and you should never ever do that. But then also I know better sometimes to just be like, you know what? I don't know why you're talking about this, but really like it's none of our business. And maybe you should just keep it pushing because really about letting outside noise get to you when you're working. And that's just like one of the things, the lessons that I've taken from working in this industry, which is just that like, I think people will always be in your ear. Everyone will always have an opinion. And I think like it's very easy to assume that a girl like me who is front of house management, like running the joint, like just like I think people can always have like their assumptions that like maybe like I'm not someone who would be like a lot of people just have made their assumptions in the terms of like, oh, like she's really mean. I'm not mean, I promise. She's really mean and she's very strict and straightforward, but like it's just part of my job. I think like not to say that like being nice can't be part of the job. I think that's actually a very essential part of the job, but
you have to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah. Right. The number one thing that I learned too when I got into the industry was they don't listen to the soft, quiet spoken girls. They'll swallow you whole and chew you up and spit you out. And I think like it wasn't until like, cause you know, like we meet so many different people. There are like some heavy people who come by, and like people who are like, maybe like they've been in this industry for a long time. And like, you know, you obviously have to show a certain level of respect to some people who are in this industry who are stopping by because they're also one of us. And like, they're coming from their own establishments. And like, you know, like there's that. And then there's some people who just come and they just have an ego. And they're just entitled. And they just want to like be respected, but like aren't respectful, you know? And like, I think people like that, there's always a line where like I'll know when to portray that like strict stern side of me, but also that side that's like, hey, welcome back. Like, I'm so happy that you're coming back. And like, I think like some people just need to be told. Some people,
I agree.
I try to leave it to my amazing security team who always has my back. Anytime, they're always listening. Anytime a conversation seems to be straying in the wrong direction, it could be like, there are some aggressive flirters out there sometimes who won't take no for an answer. Yeah. And that's when security usually has to chime in, because like I could be a very like mean, outwardly kind of like strict person, but sometimes guys are into that. And it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yes,
like, it's
I
just
want
like,
you to talk bad to me
I
right
want
now.
you to yell at me. And like,
that's kind of hot.
I think like those kind of people, that's when like security usually has to chime in. And I think that's like the thing about being a woman in this industry.
Yeah.
For my host team, I'm always looking out for everybody, because like you never know when someone's being like, you're being nice, and like my host team is like, they're all like some of the sweetest girls ever, and like they're all trying to just be customer service forward, give that like great hospitality, but then some people will take it the wrong way. And all I have to do is observe that. And if I see so much as like, a lot of us speak Vietnamese, so like luckily I'll be able to like communicate with them and be like, do I need to save you? Like, do I need to take you now? Or like, do I need to like, I'll literally like call security to like stand in between them and somebody else, just because sometimes like people don't know how to take no for an answer.
People don't get clues.
Yeah.
Like, it's
terrible at picking up social cues, especially the people who are super, super drunk.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like that's like probably one of the biggest lessons. And I think for anybody who is joining the nightlife, I would like to very much say, please don't let the outside noise get to you. I think it's also one of those things where when maybe you start to get to know everybody and you become friends with everyone, it kind of feeds the ego a little bit.
Yeah.
And like, I think that that's healthy to some degree, but I also think that some people need to remember there's a fine line between letting it get to your ego and then letting it also just like affect you as a person. Because that's why everyone doesn't want to date someone who is involved in the club industry or the nightlife industry, or maybe they get a little bit like scared when they find out that someone they're talking to goes clubbing, because it's like they know that that's what comes like that noise. It's that noise that I was telling you about. People are just always in people's ear and being like, oh, like they will convince you that it's okay to be that way, or they will convince you that oh, it's okay, like we're just friends, like we can be friends. And I'll literally be like, no, thank you. Like, I think it's easier when you're someone who can maybe like, I know people who can't speak up that way, or they're not as confrontational, or maybe they just like aren't comfortable with, and they'll just kind of like let it happen. And I think I hate that for women specifically, because like hearing those stories make me feel uncomfortable. And like, I would never want anyone coming into our space feeling that way, or leaving that space feeling that way. So that's like a big thing.
Damn.
But yeah.
Just before we end off our time with Tracy, we have one last question. You know, hopefully you guys enjoyed Tracy's parts in this. Our last question.
We know
Tracy.
we did.
maybe a couple of dudes learn, change your perception on the nightclub.
Hell yeah.
You know, I feel like there's a lot you can learn from Tracy. And
100%.
our last question to Tracy is, if you could say something to your younger self, what would it be?
I think like the number one thing I would say to the younger version of me would be just be a little bit like, don't really care about what people have to say. And like, it's like typical, it kind of sounds really typical, but like I really like, when I think about all the things I used to be so heartbroken about, or the things that I used to be like crying about to my mom, or like just like things that I would go through when I was much younger, like very real problems for a teenager, but also like growing older and seeing how like different and real the world gets as you get older. I think like I would just tell her to just be a little bit more like softer on herself. Like, I think like everyone forgets that we all have to grow up a little bit and go through things before ever experiencing more of what this life has to offer. And I think like the younger girls of this generation are also just like, they're so different now.
Mm.
Everyone's so focused on like trying to like,
Yeah, they'll give a different
know?
shine to you for
Mhm.
sure.
And I think that's probably why, like, within all my siblings and like all the people that are like great friends of mine, like I'm very, very strict with like letting them know that like no matter what, like you have your life and I have mine, but I will always support you no matter what you have to do, no matter whatever life throws at you, like you know that you can depend on me. Because I know some people who like, I hate that thinking of like, oh, like it's your own people who don't support you, and it's like strangers. Unfortunately, it's true. Like strangers will support you more. I like journal and I write stuff to myself. Like I'll always start off my journal entries with like dear future me, because like when I read back at it months or weeks later, I'll always be like, wow, like old me versus like future me is like always so different. Always, even if it was just like a difference of like 2 weeks, it's like the mindset is always different. And that's why like even that thing I was telling you guys about like partners, where like you have to remember that like every time you meet somebody and you get involved with them, you have to remember that you are also committing to learning the new version of them as time goes on. Each month, each day, each year.
Loving their new phase every time.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
That's what I would tell my younger self.
Beautiful
Beautiful answer.
thing to say.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway,
I had so much fun doing this,
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you for hopping on. You know,
One of the best ones we've done.
Hey.
Yeah, honestly.
100%.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys see more of Tracy.
Yes.
We loved having her on. If you guys have any other topics or questions for her, feel free to drop it down in the comments below. Do you have anything else you want to say to the people?
Love, live life, and don't let anybody stop you from doing anything you want to do.
Period.
My bad. Anyway, that's been Dom. I mean, that's been Ken.
Bye, guys.
Tracy. Have a good day, guys. Take care.
Bye.
That was awesome.
That was so fun. OMG.